Robert Louis Stevenson. Treasure Island. Chapter 3. The Black Spot. About noon I stopped at the captain's door with some cool drinks and medicine. He was lying almost the same as we had left him, only a little higher, and he seemed both weak and nervous. "Jim," he said, "you are the only one here who is worth anything, and you know I have always been good to you. Every month I have given you a silver fourpenny for yourself. And now you see, mate, I am very weak and left alone. And Jim, you will bring me one small glass of rum, won't you, mate?" "The doctor," I began. But he stopped me and started to curse the doctor. His voice was weak, but he meant it strongly. "Doctors are all fools," he said. "And that doctor there, what does he know about seafaring men? I have been in places as hot as fire, and I have seen men fall sick with Yellow Jack, and I have felt the land shake like the sea in earthquakes. What does a doctor know about places like that? And I lived on rum, I tell you. It has been food and drink and everything to me. If I do not have my rum now, I am like a broken ship near the shore. My blood will be on you, Jim, and on that doctor." And he continued cursing for a while. "Look, Jim, how my fingers shake," he went on in a begging voice. "I cannot keep them still. I have not had a drop all day. That doctor is a fool, I tell you. If I do not get a little rum, Jim, I will have terrible visions. I have already seen some. I saw old Flint in that corner, behind you. I saw him as clearly as anything. And if I get these visions, I am a man who has lived a hard life, and I will go wild. Your doctor himself said one glass would not hurt me. I will give you a gold coin for one small drink, Jim." He was becoming more and more excited, and this made me worried for my father, who was very ill that day and needed quiet. Also, I trusted the doctor's words, which he had just repeated, and I did not like that he tried to bribe me. "I do not want your money," I said. "Only what you owe my father. I will bring you one glass and no more." When I brought it to him, he grabbed it quickly and drank it at once. "Yes, yes," he said. "That is better. And now, mate, did the doctor say how long I must stay in this bed?" "At least a week," I said. "Thunder!" he cried. "A week! I cannot do that. They would give me the black spot before then. Those fools are already trying to find me. They cannot keep what they have, and they want to take what belongs to another man. Is that fair, I ask you? But I am a careful man. I never waste my money, and I do not lose it either. I will trick them again. I am not afraid of them. I will fight them again and beat them." As he spoke, he got out of bed with great difficulty. He held my shoulders so hard it almost made me cry out, and he moved his legs as if they were very heavy. His words were strong, but his voice was weak and sad. When he managed to sit on the edge of the bed, he stopped. "That doctor has finished me," he said quietly. "My ears are ringing. Lay me back." Before I could help him much, he fell back into his old position, where he lay silent for a while. "Jim," he said after some time, "you saw that seafaring man today?" "Black Dog?" I asked. "Yes, Black Dog," he said. "He is a bad man, but there are worse men who sent him. Now, if I cannot get away, and they give me the black spot, listen to me. It is my old sea chest they want. You must get on a horse. You can ride, can't you? Then ride to, yes, I will say it, to that doctor, and tell him to call everyone, magistrates and such, and they will come here to the Admiral Benbow. They must catch all of old Flint's crew, men and boys, all who are left. I was first mate. I was old Flint's first mate, and I am the only one who knows the place. He told me at Savannah when he was dying, just as I may be now. But you must not tell anyone unless they give me the black spot, or unless you see Black Dog again, or a seafaring man with one leg, Jim. Him most of all." "But what is the black spot, Captain?" I asked. "That is a warning, mate. I will tell you if they bring it. But you keep your eyes open, Jim, and I will share everything with you equally, I promise." He talked a little longer, but his voice became weaker. Soon after I gave him his medicine, which he took like a child, saying, "If any sailor needs medicine, it is me." He fell into a deep sleep, almost like he had fainted, and I left him there. I do not know what I would have done if everything had gone normally. I would probably have told the whole story to the doctor, because I was very afraid that the captain might change his mind and hurt me. But things did not go that way. That same evening, my poor father died suddenly, and everything else became less important. Our sadness, the visits from neighbors, the planning of the funeral, and the work of running the inn kept me so busy that I had almost no time to think about the captain, and even less to be afraid of him. He came downstairs the next morning and ate his meals as usual, but he ate very little, and, I am afraid, drank more rum than usual, because he took it himself from the bar. He looked angry and blew through his nose, and no one dared to oppose him. On the night before the funeral, he was as drunk as ever. It was shocking to hear him singing his ugly old sea song in a house of mourning. But he was so weak that we were all afraid he might die. The doctor had been called far away to another case and did not come back after my father's death. I have said the captain was weak, and in fact he seemed to grow weaker instead of stronger. He went slowly up and down the stairs and moved between the parlor and the bar. Sometimes he opened the door a little to smell the sea. He held on to the walls for support and breathed hard and fast like a man climbing a steep hill. He did not speak to me much, and I believe he had almost forgotten what he had told me. But his temper was more changeable, and even with his weakness, more violent than before. When he was drunk, he had a frightening habit of taking out his cutlass and putting it on the table in front of him. But at the same time, he cared less about other people and seemed lost in his own thoughts, almost confused. Once, to our great surprise, he even sang a different song, a kind of country love song that he must have learned when he was young, before he went to sea. So things continued like this until the day after the funeral. It was about 3 o'clock on a very cold, foggy afternoon. I was standing at the door for a moment, full of sad thoughts about my father, when I saw someone slowly coming along the road. He was clearly blind because he tapped the ground in front of him with a stick and wore a large green shade over his eyes and nose. He was bent over as if from age or weakness, and wore a big old torn sea cloak with a hood that made him look very strange. I had never seen such a frightening person in my life. He stopped a short distance from the inn and spoke in a strange, singing voice, talking into the air in front of him. "Will any kind person tell a poor blind man, who lost his sight while bravely defending his country, England, and God bless King George, where he is now in this country?" "You are at the Admiral Benbow, at Black Hill Cove, my good man," I said. "I hear a voice," he said, "a young voice. Will you give me your hand, my kind young friend, and lead me inside?" I gave him my hand, and the horrible, soft-speaking, eyeless man grabbed it at once like a strong tool. I was so frightened that I tried to pull away, but the blind man pulled me close to him with one quick movement. "Now, boy," he said, "take me to the captain." "Sir," I said, "I truly dare not." "Oh," he said in a cruel voice, "so that is it. Take me in at once, or I will break your arm." As he spoke, he twisted my arm, and I cried out in pain. "Sir," I said, "I mean it for your own safety. The captain is not the same as before. He sits with a drawn cutlass. Another gentleman—" "Come now, move," he interrupted. I had never heard such a cruel, cold, and ugly voice. It frightened me even more than the pain, and I obeyed him at once. I walked straight into the house and toward the parlor, where the sick old pirate was sitting, confused from rum. The blind man held tightly to me with one strong hand and leaned heavily on me. "Take me straight to him. When I can see him, say, 'Here is a friend for you, Bill.' If you do not, I will do this." And he gave my arm another painful twist. I was so afraid of the blind man that I forgot my fear of the captain. When I opened the parlor door, I said the words he had told me in a shaking voice. The poor captain looked up, and in a moment the effect of the rum left him. He stared, now completely sober. His face did not show only fear, but also great sickness. He tried to stand, but I do not think he had enough strength. "Now, Bill, sit where you are," said the blind man. "I cannot see, but I can hear even the smallest movement. Business is business. Hold out your left hand. Boy, take his left hand by the wrist and bring it to my right hand." We both did exactly as he said. I saw him take something from the hand that held his stick and put it into the captain's hand. The captain closed his hand over it at once. "And now that is done," said the blind man. Then he suddenly let go of me, and with surprising speed and accuracy, moved out of the room and into the road. I stood still, and I could hear his stick tapping away as he went farther and farther. For some time, neither the captain nor I could think clearly. At last, at the same moment, I let go of his wrist, which I was still holding, and he pulled back his hand and looked closely at what was in it. "10 o'clock, he cried. 6 hours. We can still beat them." And he jumped to his feet. But as he did this, he lost his balance. He put his hand to his throat, stood unsteadily for a moment, and then, with a strange sound, fell forward onto the floor. I ran to him at once and called my mother, but it was too late. The captain had died suddenly from a stroke. It is strange to understand, because I had never liked the man, though recently I had begun to feel sorry for him. But when I saw he was dead, I began to cry. It was the second death I had seen, and the sadness from the first was still strong in my heart.